I'm terrible.
It's already recording, bro.
Dude, bro, dude, what's up, guys?
Guys, let
I'm
me
here
tell
with Neo
you,
Stalker.
I'm
He's
here
gonna
with
be asking me
Mintman.
questions.
I'm here with Mintman. I'm asking him questions. We're here a little later than we wanted to be because I had to blow up the bathroom right quick.
45 minutes in the bathroom, by the
I
way.
was sweating. I had to take my shirt off. It was awful. It was awful, but we're here now. We're finally here. I get to interview this legend, right? One, not to toot my own horn, one legend to another.
Yo,
Um,
let's go, let's go. Old guy to old guy is what you mean.
yeah, man, old ass, fuck the old ass fuck. But I'm glad to finally have
Yeah.
you on here, bro. We've had a lot of crazy shit happening recently, and you unfortunately were kind of stuck in the middle of some of it. So honestly, we
Yeah.
could probably start with that. To be honest, it's a good jumping off point to really get this shit going. So, little PCW UXW beef. They got booted out from the RWA. We're in the RWA now, and you were their world champion. I don't know if you still are. I don't really pay attention to them like that, but um, you were their world champion. You were our gladiator champion, and you were kind of trying real hard to divide your time up on Fridays between the two feds. But
Yeah.
now we're on their time slot. So how much of an adjustment has that been for you, bro? Like, how has all this been kind of like going on in your head?
To be honest, right now, I don't even really go to PCW that much. I don't go there to fight anymore. I lost the title and like I just go there to hang out.
Okay,
I already won my accomplishment. That's what I was there for. I
okay,
like Isaac a lot. Isaac's a really nice dude, but he just doesn't pay a single bit of attention to like what's going on in the community, so he's kind of lost. And that's
okay.
why I think him having Aiden on his side as his new like CEO, who he Aiden literally has a calendar for when feds are, so he doesn't host over them.
Yeah,
They're
actually,
definite.
bro,
Yeah, he does. He
that's
makes Twitter posts like
he's a
actively,
sweat for
like
that, but I respect him for it. You know what I
well,
mean?
people shit on PCW for hosting over other things, and he's gonna make sure that PCW
Which
has
I
the
mean,
a good rep, right?
I personally
That's what a good person would do.
I personally think that's rightfully so. But on the
Well,
other side of
no,
things,
Trunks was shitting on him.
on the other
Everybody
side
was
of
shitting on
things,
him.
yeah, I think that he deserves to get shit on for it. But what I also believe is that one, I respect Aiden for going out of his way. You know what I mean? Like, see what's up and make sure it doesn't happen anymore. I respect that. I think it's a good thing that he's doing. And as for Isaac, like, he's probably never gonna watch this shit. I don't really know how much he pays
No,
attention to
I
us.
doubt he
I don't
cares at
even
all.
care, to be honest with you. Like, he hasn't really said shit during this whole thing. I haven't even seen a reaction from him about the RWA stuff. So
He doesn't care.
I
Okay,
can say
so
this. I can.
on that
Sorry, go
though,
ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was talking to Isaac, and he said I was using the RWA for clout, which honestly, at that point,
That sounds like
I couldn't blame him.
it sounds
Like
like it.
at the point that it was, I
Yeah.
couldn't blame him. It's not like
Yeah, and look, I told Vegas this, and I could say this here because, like I said, Isaac's never gonna see this, so he doesn't really care. But I don't actually hate Isaac. You know what I mean? I don't
well, yeah,
actually have a problem.
well, yeah,
I find this shit fun. I'm taking shots with him, trying to get under his skin or whatever. But I really don't have any ill will towards him. I don't hate PCW. You know what I mean?
well, yeah.
I'm
The
just trying to do what's best for my Fed, and he's gonna do what's best for his. It is what it is. I'm not gonna hate on him for it. He can hate on me if he wants. That's fine. But I'm just having some fun with the kid. It's all fun
well,
and games
he
to
doesn't
me.
hate on you. The very
So
first day when you started this, like when you rated and just started spamming UXW, Isaac didn't react at all,
yeah, I
and I was
know.
like, yo, I.
Oh,
I was like,
trust
"Yo, I
me.
love UXW," and he's like, "Yeah, me too." And that's really the extent of how that went.
Yeah, trust me. I know he didn't react, and I mean the only thing that pissed me off is when he made that little. It felt passive aggressive to me when he made that little tweet that was like, "Thanks for the raid." That kind of got under my skin. But after that, I was like, "All right, you know what? I could be petty. Let's see where this goes." But yeah, I don't hate the guy. I don't even hate his Fed. I do think he was a little bit of an asshole for running over the RWA in Wrestle Kingdom, but
Yeah.
aside from everything, I'm like, you know what, bro? You do you. I'm gonna do me. I'm just gonna have fun with him along the way.
Yeah, I was in the RWA Discord when they were talking about how Isaac ran over RPW's final event.
Hmm.
And then Isaac's like, "Well, in this channel where you're supposed to write certain days, you wrote like I think it was the 6th and the 7th. You wrote 6/7." And I was
Hmm.
like, "Well, I thought that meant you were going to host on one of those days." But no, Isaac, he's
I
hosting on
don't.
both of those
I
days.
don't think. I don't buy that from him. Yeah, I really don't buy that from him.
Yeah,
Wrestle Kingdom's been two
that's
days
how
in a
that went.
row for like the last 2 or 3 years, but like I said, I don't hate the kid. I'm fucking around with him. I'm having some fun with him. I don't think he cares. I feel like there've been a couple times where I got under his skin a little bit, and that's more
Oh yeah,
fun.
I saw those the replies on Twitter from
That's
him.
more fun for me. And when he started responding to me, I was like, ah, oh,
Oh, you got him then.
now I'm really gonna get under his skin. But I think he knows better now because he hasn't responded to shit that I've said from now. He fucking learned his lesson, which is fine, man. He does his own thing. I'm still gonna mess with him a little bit. I'm sure you've noticed I haven't been as annoying to him on Twitter.
Well,
Since we
yeah,
got into the
because you got what you
RWA.
wanted,
Yeah,
right?
I've been chilling. You know what I mean? I haven't been going as hard on him, but I'm still gonna be a little petty. I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
like I did at first, but I'm still gonna be a little petty with him. Um, but yeah, man, and you were real loyal to both sides. I'm not gonna sit here and act like you weren't. Like even though you were their world champion, you still made it a point to come through to us later on in the show, and I appreciate that and I respect that. Um, but now that that's all over, and we got like a whole new influx of people here. I think I remember telling you, I had somebody planned for you. I don't even remember who it
Yeah,
was
it was
because
Jeffrey. You wanted me to fight
there we
Jeffrey, and I
go.
was like, "I
Yeah,
don't make me fight Jeffrey, boy. I
it
already
was
swept
gonna
that
be
guy eight
Jeffrey, but
times."
the thing is, he was doing really good at the time. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah,
And
I
he,
guess.
he was doing real good at the time. And you know me, I don't believe in N1C matches. I kind of place people accordingly.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I've always done it. And I thought that he would have been a real good fit for you. But when you brought that up, I gave it a little more thought, and I was like, you know what? You're right. You have been in a tear, and it would be unfair to both you and him if I throw him into the fire against you and see if he's really, really about that shit. You know what I mean?
Well, I mainly said that because it was planned to be the final event, and I was like, "Bro, don't make me fight someone lame for the final event."
Yeah, it was going
You
to be.
know?
Now it's not, but that's true.
I mean, hell, I love free defenses. If I knew it guaranteed wasn't the last event, I would have been like, "Whatever, bro."
Yeah, but I also appreciate you for also being a fighting champ. Like you were like, nah, give me something good. So that's
Yeah.
when I thought about the tournament. I actually ended up talking to Trunks about this, which he's been a really big help with UXW recently. And he was
Man,
recently
Trunks has been killing it everywhere. Trunks has helped out so many
real.
people.
He actually just got promoted to UXW's COO, so he's doing big shit here.
Oh, he's making that revenue too, huh?
Yeah, so he had the idea to do a tournament, and I was like, hey, I actually did a tournament at the beginning of UXW. We called it the Underground Tournament, which I know it's
Hmm.
not that whatever. It was cool at the time, but we did it like the G1 Climax where it was points based. But we never finished it because it was just so hard to keep track of, especially when you're a new Fed, kind of figuring out how, kind of navigating your spot and all this.
Yeah.
Um, and I was like, why don't we bring that back, but do it like an actual tournament? So Trunks is actually the one who got all the participants in. Like all of the participants for that tournament, he got them. And I remember talking to him, and we were thinking of a prize. And I was like, you know what? Mint doesn't have a proper N1C right now. We were gonna do the scaffold match 4-1, but then we started having those really bad attendance issues, and the people who were supposed to be in it stopped showing up. Um, and I didn't want to just throw you anybody because that's unfair to you as a champion just to have someone who didn't earn their shot come in and take one. But we decided to make that the prize, a shot at your belt, and we're probably gonna give him some Robux, maybe like 1,000, 2,000, depends on how much we have at that point in time. But I remember telling you right at the beginning, I was like, look, it's gonna be for your title, a shot at your title. And the moment we know who's in it, I'm gonna show you the bracket first, which I did. I showed you the bracket first. Um,
Yeah, by the way, how did Trunks find that bracket confusing? It was pretty clear.
that's
Like
I
once you
don't
once you explained
understand.
the concept of, horizontal,
Yeah,
like from side to side, I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense."
I get that it's not normal, but I thought it was like the simplest thing. And this man's like, I'm gonna need you to explain it to me again. And then fucking 30 times later, he still had no clue what I was talking about. But I'm glad that I'm glad that you fucking understood it. Um, but we're kind of like we're into the semifinal bracket now. We have one more match in round two to get through. Which I actually have to announce because someone pulled out of the tournament. He's going to be replaced by the first alternate. But yeah, in your eyes right now, who do you think you're gonna walk into Wicked Ties facing?
Oh, obviously Vegas. I fought Vegas a million times. I know exactly how hard Vegas is to fight.
Do you think he's gonna take the whole thing?
Oh yeah, the only person I see who has a chance of beating Vegas is Uga, and that's because Uga has 500 ping. It's very unpredictable what he's gonna do.
Okay. Well, I was talking before. I've even looking at the tournament matches that have happened so far. I don't know if you've been able to watch all of them.
Yeah, I was there
Um,
for all of them. I think
but I think one of the people who's really, really shocked me so far and impressed me is Nuber. You know,
Nuber. Yeah, Nuber
he's
has been
he's gonna
doing
be a
better.
dark horse, dude. He was the underdog for both of his matches, and I'm talking severely. And he ended up winning
Hmm.
both of them pretty dominantly.
I don't know,
Um,
man. I think he comes across Vegas or even JJ. I think he's done.
maybe
Jade,
maybe. I just
I've honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. I've been coaching JJ during his matches. I've been telling him what to do.
well, it's been working because
It,
He's made it through both rounds now. And he wasn't even supposed to be in the tournament. I promised him, hey, if anyone backs out, I'll put you in first. And then the number two is who's going to be replacing Jody. But
and who's that?
um, I I always forget his name. I know his username. I just forget what he goes by. It's
What's his username?
Metabun Zodiac.
Oh, that's Zodiac. Yeah, the guy I fought last show.
Yeah, something Hardy. I always forget what his
Yeah,
username.
Zodiac. I don't know, bro.
Oh, it is. Is it
I don't
Zodiac
even know.
Hardy? I don't want to disrespect him and give him
Probably.
the wrong name, but that's who it is.
Honestly, I know Zodiac. He has a million gimmicks. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he's a talented kid, and I think I don't know if he's I don't know him enough to know whether or not he can beat Fizo. I don't know.
Oh, Fizzo. Mm,
Fizo
I
Fizzo.
think they're probably about equal.
Okay.
I
If
mean,
that's the
the
case,
main
then
thing Zodiac does is like takedown though. He's a hardcore guy. That's what he does.
so does Fizzo though. He's also
Yeah.
so it'll be interesting. But right now, I think that Nuber is definitely being slept on. I think he's a lot better than people are giving him credit for. I think Vegas is obviously the favorite, and Adrian for a long time was like the second favorite. And then they had a match together, and it was a fucking instant classic. I don't know if you saw that match, dude, but it was insane.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean,
So
I don't
good.
know. I'm kind of surprised Adrian did that well. I fought Adrian before. I know how Vegas fights too. I thought Vegas would have been like a clear victor. I didn't expect it to be that close. Same
Expected
thing with
to really bring
Vegas
it.
versus Tyler.
Yeah. Um, that's true. And I honestly, some people can take that as Vegas being beatable. That's not really how I take
I
it.
honestly, I
I
take it as the cleans being unpredictable, and that makes more entertaining.
maybe that I take it more as in like people really really want to win this fucking tournament. You know what I mean? Like they really want to win this shit. And it's not an easy tournament. I mean, even when I first showed you, I think you looked at it and you're
Yeah,
like, I
there
wouldn't
were
want to
four
be there.
people I was like really concerned about, and three or two of them vanished.
Yeah, and even me, I was like, I think I told you when we were looking at it, I was like, I wouldn't want to be in this tournament personally. I would not want to take part in this, but these boys are. They're working really hard. Uga has made it to the semifinals. Um,
Yep. Uga has screen shared his matches for me just because people think he's a cheater
I
because
don't think
it's
he's a
like
cheater. I
really
think
bad
he's just
internet.
laggy.
Yeah, I can see his screen. No, he's not cheating. He just has
Yeah,
500 ping at all
I don't
times.
think
It's
he's
crazy.
cheating. And obviously, if I see something, I'll call it. And I think I had to call it a few times in his a couple matches. But normally his stuff is clean. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. And now we have the 5-way match. It's probably gonna be some kind of ladder match. I still need to figure out the logistics. But whoever wins that gets a bye to the finals. Um,
Oh, to be that guy.
right? I mean, that's like 3 matches that you don't have to fight now. You can just chill at the
Yeah.
finals and wait for everybody else to catch up to you. Um, which personally, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I think Nuber's gonna win that 5-way.
Really?
I do. I think Nuber's gonna win that 5-way, and then I think that either JJ or Vegas is gonna take the whole tournament in terms of like the second final spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm feeling. And as for who wins the finals, dude, I don't know, man. I obviously Vegas is the favorite, but Nuber has really surprised me. JJ has been going hard. Finally he got the tag team titles. I told you guys the tag team titles existed. It was always just some shit that kept me from putting them in. Um, But
Yeah,
yeah,
you made that picture months ago. I think it was like July. You posted the picture of them. You just never put them in.
I just never put him in, dude. It's awful. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for it, man. It's gonna be really really good. And are you worried about any of them in particular? Like, do you think your reign's in legit danger, or do you think no matter who wins this tournament at this point, you're gonna walk out
Oh
just
yeah,
fine?
I'm confident. I'm confident. No matter who wins, I can take them. I fought everybody who's been in the tournament, and I've won before.
Okay. All right. Even if it was Vegas, the favorite, you
Yeah,
legitimately think
I've
that you'd
I've
be able to
beaten
take him
Vegas
out?
before. Yeah,
Okay.
I've beaten Vegas before. We're always 50-50, but I've won before, so I'm not too worried.
Okay. So for you, kind of like, what does this tournament mean to you as champion? Like, do you feel like whoever wins this like earned their shot at your belt, or do you think that they all should have done a little bit more to even be here?
No, I think they earned it, man. Just winning a whole tournament just for a minor title shot, that's crazy, you know? I won the RPW like title tournament, the rival tournament to fight Chris Apoth. I beat like I don't know, 5, 6 people to face him, and it was a major, so it was worth it.
Hmm. We protect our champs, man. And
Oh yeah.
people, I try to tell
What?
people
Except for
like,
the open weight though. 3 defenses for an open weight?
oh,
Or-
yeah, the open weight, that's that title gets fucking everything thrown at that. If
yeah.
you're the Renegade champion, I feel bad for you because you're gonna go through hell each and every single week. But
Hey man,
if you
I
get
did it.
enough,
That's
yeah,
how I'm
exactly.
here. That's how I did it.
If you get enough to cash in, then you get enough to cash in. But
Next time I hold it, I'm going for all 6.
only two people have ever gotten, or no, that's a lie.
Oh, Perk got 8.
Perk, yeah, Perk went crazy. I stopped counting after he got to 6. I was like, I don't
Yeah,
care.
he got
He
8.
already hit the number. But I think only two people have ever cashed in at the max amount. Um, and of those two, neither
It
of
was
them won the world title.
Yeah, it was Jordan and Perk, both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both fought
So,
Brock,
oh
right?
my, that makes three then. Well, okay,
Wait, who's the third one?
Zany, we kind of kick him out of history. But what
Oh, yeah,
happened
yeah,
is
yeah,
this is
yeah.
before all that shit came out about him. He ruined pretty much our women's division, and I was super frustrated about it. But as for another time, he ended up cashing in. And then it was like this whole controversial thing. So I told him that I'm not gonna allow that shit. And then he ended up just cashing in the three instead for the tag team titles. And that's how the Frat Boys became champions. But yeah, in terms of like actual like legitimate world title contenders, the only ones who cashed in were Perk and Jordan, and neither of them were able to.
No, they
neither
both fought Brock.
They both fought Brock, and neither of them were able to. Neither of them were able to get the title. Um, which is crazy too because both of them are really fucking good, and that Brock had to face them pretty much back to back. Well, he faced Trunks and then he faced Jordan. Um,
Hmm.
so that just kind of shows you just how much of a serious fucking champ Brock is himself. Um,
Yeah,
and then
a
Perk,
very inactive guy, being able to beat the guy who held the RWAC at the time, Jordan. He
yeah,
beat Jordan when he had the RWAC, and then he beat Perk, who went on to win the RWAC.
yeah,
And for a man who only fights one match a week, that's pretty impressive.
yeah, it is. It really is. And right now Brock is in this really big feud with Dewey, and I'm not gonna
Oh
put
yeah.
Dewey's business out there. He's got some personal stuff going on right now, um, in his life, and I've been supporting him. We've all been supporting him on the low. There is a chance that match might not happen.
Oh
Um,
man.
but if it doesn't, I do have a backup plan. Um,
You gonna
but
bring
if
back KB or something?
No, no, no. Actually, well, I don't want to say it on the air because it like ruins
Well,
the mystique of it. But
I guess so, yeah.
I do have a plan, just in case that happens. It's unfortunate what Dewey's going through. I love the
Yeah.
guy. We all love him, and but at this point, I mean, I've told him myself. At this point, I feel like the best option for you is just walk away, bro. Like you've got nothing else to prove. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like there's literally nothing else here for you to prove.
You
Um,
talking about their story reminds me of how Tyler won the Renegade
yeah,
this last week, and he was talking like, "What if I get all 6?" And I was like, "Well, there's been a building story between Brock and Dewey, and you're gonna kind of ruin that." But I guess
yeah.
this kind of
Well,
changes
that's
that.
what that's what Perk almost did. This fuck, he was gonna wait until Homecoming to cash in, to butt into Brock's match with Trunks, And that was like a big storyline built up as like a rematch, and Perk was like, "It's about to be a triple threat." So I was like, "Oh no." But it's happened before, man. And it happened with Tyrule's, with when fucking Jamie somehow, some way, I still don't fucking know how he did it, won the Apocalypse Battle Royal at day zero.
Dude, I remember that. I was there. That was my first event back,
What
like,
did you think of that,
ever.
by the way? Because that's one of my
I
favorite shows I've
loved
ever
it, bro.
hosted.
I honestly, at the time, I didn't know how unique that event was. I had no idea. That was my first time going to anything.
Hmm.
Like UXW is legitimately the first Fed that I came to when I came back. Like I saw Ty Rules on my Roblox page. I was like, "Where's he? What's that?" I joined him. I was like, "UXW." Honestly, it blew my mind when I first came around. I had no idea what anything was. I mean, I was lost. Do you remember my first match?
I do.
I didn't even have a theme, bro. I was using
I do.
WASD. I was using
I'm pretty sure your first match was for the Renegade title too, wasn't it? Like, didn't you get called out for the open challenge?
Oh, no, no, no. That was after that. That was I was talking about in the arena you used before the asylum, like briefly. That's like an old
Uh,
arena.
oh,
It was in that arena.
the warehouse?
Yeah, I don't know. No, 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 no. It was the one with like the showcase rooms. I can't. What is that?
Oh, the docks.
Yeah, the docks. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
I was at the
docks.
docks, and I don't even remember who I was fighting, but it was my first match in 8, 9 years, and I was using WASD.
Look at you now, bro. Look at you now.
Yeah, it only took me what 8 months, 8 months, and I'm already better than 99% of people. It's crazy,
Bro,
right?
it is crazy.
From a
You
man
did it,
going to
man.
WASD who didn't even have a theme.
I remember seeing you too, and I think it was Tyrus who pointed you out because at first I didn't recognize your name, and then when he told me where you were from, I was like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute," and then it
Oh
started
shit! I think I
clicking.
got a warning.
It started. What did you get a warning for?
I got banned for a day.
Damn, that's the worst, dude.
Damn.
That's the
Bad
I
timing.
got zombie banned for 7 days trying to upload a fucking theme for us, dude. I felt so bad. I I got fucking Sean Apop banned for a day too, trying to upload the same theme. It was awful. But yeah, when Tyrus pointed you out, I was like, "Oh shit, it's Mintman!" And then you weren't the only old head who was at that show either. A lot of people
Hmm.
like followed. I don't know if they followed you or if they followed Perk to Day
They
Zero.
definitely followed Perk because I didn't know really any of those people.
Yeah,
I don't think they remembered me, honestly. I haven't been like that was like the first time I was on in 8, 9 years. I don't know how Ty Rules even remembers me.
Tyrus fucking remembers everybody, bro. I came back like in 2018 after like a long ass layoff, and he was like, "Bro, Neo, how you been?" I was like, "What the fuck? You still here?" And he remembered everything. So Tyrus has just got
Wait,
that memory,
yeah. Dude,
yo.
that's crazy. I like he invited me to come back in 2018. I like he told me to DM him on Discord and I was like, "Oh yeah, I will." Then I forgot because that was when I first started in college, 2018.
Yeah,
I was
same.
very, very busy.
Hmm. Same. That's honestly, actually, that's how I was able to come back. Because even though I was like really, really busy, I had an office job, so all of my time from pretty much 6 p.m. to later was like free. And I was like, oh shit, because they like worked around my school hours. So I had all this time that I really had nothing to do with. So I was like, let me see what all the old friends from back in the community are up to. And then lo and behold, I actually made a comeback. Um, but it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy how much has changed. I don't know. Were you ever involved at RWU?
I went to RWU
Probably,
before it was like
probably the
big. I
early
went there
days.
in
Yeah, you were probably there
2011.
before, like before the Trons and shit.
Oh, I mean they had Trons then.
They did, but it wasn't as crazy. Like they didn't have like the crazy light systems and all that. Like it was before he
Yeah.
hard with the technology. You know, I I try not to talk too much shit about the older feds, but RWU is one that I can't help myself with because he just he RCC used to irk the shit out of me. Um, but just to kind of see like how shit was back then versus like how it's progressed now, that probably blew your mind because you didn't really get to see the progression. You know what I mean? Like you just came back
Yeah.
after all this time, and boom, like they just dropped you right into like peak crazy fucking wrestling. And you were probably, I can't even imagine what your mindset was. You were probably like, holy shit.
Dude, I don't even remember. It was like back in the day, the main Fed I went to was EHW. Do you know? Do you remember EHW?
I do.
Uh,
Wait a
I
second.
I was.
I don't. Was that that
Wait, you
wasn't?
don't?
No, I don't. I hold on.
You probably
Oh
do. It was a very
yeah,
big,
yeah,
very
yeah,
very
yeah,
big
yeah, yeah.
Fed,
I do,
very
I do,
big.
I do, I do, I do. I had it confused
Yeah,
with the one that Ken ran back then, but I was like, no, 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 that's not it.
yeah. So I multi-time world champion EHW when I was in like 2012, 2013. I fought TM Punk before he was TM Punk. I fought Brock before he was big. Um, I doubt Brock even remembers fighting me, but I remember.
You'd be surprised. Brock has a pretty good ass memory too.
I mean, I haven't spoken to Brock since I came back. Like the only time I ever spoke to him was telling him good luck at homecoming. That's the only time I ever spoken to Brock,
This man
like
doesn't,
since coming back.
buddy. You don't have to take that personally.
I mean, I'm not really taking offense to it. I don't talk to people either, really.
Mm-hmm.
But back what I was saying, EHW, the main fit I went to, it was basic, just block parts. And I come back now and I'm seeing all these crazy things. I'm like, what is this?
It was like a really like back then arenas were like big ass boxes with like no
Yeah.
chairs, and right in the middle you'd have
they
those.
had they had the benches. You remember the benches? The benches were
Yeah,
sick, bro. I don't
and then
you
they
I think
had
you
those.
use them now, right? Like
I
at the
use
asylum you have benches
I
there?
built individual chairs, but that was like the I. What I appreciate you for saying this because none of the new guys really recognize it, but I tried to build the asylum as like a really new school, old school arena. Does that make
Oh yeah,
sense?
I noticed. Oh, I
So
noticed. People are saying, "Oh, this is such a unique arena shape," and I was like, "Well, back in the day, this is like a normal like people didn't have the like well they didn't want to make the RCW style arena with the ramps, the slope, like
yeah,
like stands. That was like
yeah,
not common. I
yeah.
don't know why people stick to that. I'm like I'm
Back
confused
then,
why people stick to that.
back then you had a single fucking Tron as a big ass stage. You could walk out
Oh
of a
yes,
hole in the
sir.
wall, and the
Oh yes,
ring would be
sir.
pretty much like half the fucking size of the arena. The rings back then were so big for whatever reason.
And the
The
only decoration on the stage was a massive cylinder, and it was just a colored cylinder. They didn't even change the colored cylinders for entrances or anything. It was just one cylinder.
Nah, bro, those old school arenas were something else, and they only got weirder over time. And then we got the new like the seats decal that everybody started
Yeah.
using, and
Oh, I remember that.
yeah, those were like the first quote unquote seats where they actually started becoming arenas.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
those.
and then the seats went away. People stopped using them, and then the lights and the trons came in, and we started trying to be as realistic as possible. But back then, dude, it was you wrestled in a big ass box with a giant ass ring in the middle,
Yes,
and
sir.
you loved it. And the fucking wasn't the pyro just like a button that like the owner pressed and it would just do the little explosion things by the
Yeah, well, they didn't really have much pyro. RWU is probably the only place I remember having
It wasn't
pyro.
the pyro we had now. It was like the old explosions that the
Yeah.
bombs gear, like the bomb gear used to have.
Yeah, the bomb gear is just
And
one big red like circle.
yeah, and they would like press a little button or whatever, and they would all like blow up at the
Yeah.
same time or some shit. That's what it was back then, and it was crazy, and we loved it. Um, and I remember my first show personally. It was a NARW. It was his Saturday
Oh,
show.
I went to NARW. That's
Yeah,
great.
it was his Saturday show, and he had like a real small arena, but it was like one of the better ones at the time. And he had a little ring in the middle. And I remember Lonnie being like the guy back then. You had Brock, you had Tony Chick Magnet,
Oh, I remember
um,
Tony Chick Magnet.
yeah, you had Fighter Palm, all these old heads who used to run the shit back then. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it was a good ass time. And I have yet to, well, I don't want to say yet to, but I feel like after that first show, I've been like chasing that feeling for a long time, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to kind of do that with UXW, and sometimes I fail, sometimes I feel like I'm almost there, but I remember and I look back on those old times with like fondness, and it's kind of cool to see like how much we progressed. Like back then, you couldn't even have a server more than 20 people, and you would be able to
Dude, I
pull off a
remember
whole
that.
show with like 10 people, in the server, and it would
Yeah,
be a great
shows would
show.
be still like 2 hours long with
Yeah,
10 people, and each match was one fall. How does
yeah.
that even happen?
I don't know, dude. Well, because you'd have a lot of redos because if you got them outside, it
The
wouldn't be
trips.
valid. Yeah. Yeah,
The
the
trips too.
trips.
Trips were so crazy. Trips you would
Uh,
trip on just like touching someone.
you had to be creative back then, dude. Like you had people who were forcing their own trips to get a heel call. You had people who were
Yeah.
trying to time their jumps so that their calls, like their deaths, would be considered outside. You know, you had it was crazy. You had to be really, really creative because all you had was one fall, and if you lose that fall, you're shit out of luck.
Oh yeah.
And so to kind of see like how how crazy people were back then. I remember Tyrules. He was the first person to really figure out that you could launch yourself by getting stuck in the ropes. And he would do that all the time. He would get himself caught in the ropes and he would launch himself, like he would pop back and pretty much like fling into his opponent. And he's kind of the reason why that became a trip call because he started doing it so often. Um and
I remember when Tyrells was just a little jobber. He was like, it
yeah,
was
he was wearing
crazy
those
time
little
seeing
free
him.
masks that you got from like the little.
No, this is before masked Tyrells. Tyrells didn't have a mask at the
No,
time.
I'm saying like the little free hats and stuff that you used to get from
Oh
like the
yeah.
Train Your Dragon games and stuff like that. He used to wear
Yeah.
those. Yeah, little jobber tie rules, bro. I remember. And he he had the beautiful hair for beautiful people on back then.
Oh yeah.
Uh, it was crazy, man. And back when Dewey wore just the shaggy and the little hat.
The Shaggy with the orange hat. I
Yeah,
remember that. Cena 54 John. Good old Cena
yeah.
54 John.
Seen the 54 John, and then later it was Edge 41 Spear, some shit like that.
I think that's
Yeah.
exactly what it was.
It's just it's crazy to kind of look back on how things were and what they are now. And some of these
Yeah.
motherfuckers that we used to watch back then are still doing this shit, man. Like Fighter Palm is running an animated Fed right now. Dewey's champion of my Fed. Brock was just champion of my Fed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these are dudes that I pretty much grew up with, and they're still kicking it, man. And it's
A lot of these
crazy.
guys went to RP or animated though.
A lot of them did, yeah. And I personally can't get into either. I
Yeah,
respect
I mean,
animated for what it is, but it's so boring to me, dude. I can't.
I just don't like the RP aspect of anything. RP, I hate to say it, but RP makes me cringe. I hated RP when it was first like created in like 2013. I hated it. It was terrible.
Makes me cringe too,
But
but
it hasn't even changed. It's literally the same as it was in 2013.
I
If you
get
didn't
the
know that.
appeal. You know what I mean? I get the appeal and I get why people like it, but that's true. What you said, it's never changed before. Clean has at least, it's at least gotten like different iterations over like death matches back then, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
they were so much different now. If anything, I think they were
Oh,
harder
the
back then.
clotheslines.
I think
Honestly,
they
I
were
love
harder.
clotheslines. I think clotheslines are better than takedowns.
We need clotheslines back. I'm gonna add that shit to the.
True.
That's what our yeet tool is. Our yeet tool technically isn't a clothesline, but it's like
Your
it's
clothesline, the
it's
yeet
the
sucks, bro.
it's the OG front TD. Remember that? Remember the OG front TD where it would
I
just
hated
fling you?
those.
That's what yeet kind of is. Uh,
I don't know, man. The bringing back of 2K17 and seeing that there was a clothesline in 2K17 just makes me kind of happy. People still using it,
man, we'll
even for
see,
like a
bro.
troll
I
game.
might figure out something that will get the clotheslines back. We'll see. But death matches used to be so hard back then, dude. And even the
Oh
ladder
yeah,
matches, because you would spawn the ladder in by pressing a button, and then you would have to push it into position, and then jump up there and try and grab the shit before anyone launches you off. And that's assuming they didn't already launch you off while you were pushing the damn thing. Like, you would have a ladder match where all you had to do was touch the case and you'd win, and it would take like 30, 40 minutes because everyone's flying all over the place. And then I think one time, I can't remember if it was TNX, but some dude got flung so hard that he popped up, hit the case, and won before he even got to the fucking ladder. So it was crazy. You had a lot of crazy ass death matches because it would spin you and then it would fling you. The old TDs, and then back then the damaging stuff that we had for death matches. If you touched it once,
yeah,
you'd fucking die.
yeah. So like how AXW had those like, I don't, I kind of hate the idea now of like an item that damages you without you being stunned. I feel like that kind of just ruins it.
Really, we still do that in UXW. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's because I'm accidentally gonna step on something and I'm gonna die, and I'll be like, "Fuck."
That's part of what makes it fun, though. You know what I mean? That's part of what makes it fun to me. Like I'm like, don't touch this, don't touch that, don't get near that. You have to kind of be strategic about what you do. Um, but even DB Tech, like DB Tech did change a lot of stuff. I I liked DB Tech for like being able to spawn the weapons and stuff like that, but I did get frustrated that you couldn't defend yourself as soon as you were touched.
Yeah.
That never really changed, I feel like. I don't think he ever made that different. I like the 2x TDs a lot, and that's what we use in UXW because you can still defend yourself even when you're being tossed, and that kind of makes me feel like you need a little bit more of a strategy when you're fighting. But we've always tried to be unique with our TD stuff, and since we have the knockout system as opposed to you dying and respawning, we can't do full server matches like other feds do. So
Yeah.
instead, we do the full server TD matches like the Black Pearl. Um,
Man, I love the Claw Daddy.
Clawdaddy. Everybody likes the Clawdaddy. Do you know what the Clawdaddy was? Do you know why that's there?
Why?
So let me explain the backstory to you. When we first started UXW, we had a match called the Kamikaze Match, and it was a flying plane. That you would throw people out of the side door, and that's how you won. But
Sounds fun.
it got difficult because the more people we had coming, the more people figured out that if you just stay on the opposite end of the wall, it's really, really hard to get you thrown out of the side door. So matches would be going on forever. So I redesigned it so that both sides were open. Um, but when as the matches went on, they just weren't really. It became too easy then. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I tried to find a balance, and we ended up just scrapping the kamikaze match altogether. The frat boys were doing a storyline before Zany got fired, where he returned from space, and there was gonna be like this whole storyline about them going back in time, and it was gonna be like some stuff about them being like an American World War II boot camp, doing training with like really strict drill sergeants or whatever, or them like just a bunch of like little skits where they're like different spots and back in time. With this spaceship, and the spaceship was gonna be the Claw Daddy. Um, because the frat boys' whole gimmick is that they're frat boys. They drink White Claws and they kick
Yeah.
ass. So I call it the Claw Daddy because you name it after their little signature drink. But
Oh, the
then
White Claw, yeah.
exactly, yeah. But then all that stuff with Zany happened, so we fired him. The storylines got scrapped. So I decided, you know what? People really like the Kamikaze match. Let me use the Claw Daddy as the new Kamikaze match. Just have them throw each other off of the ship. And for some reason, everybody fucking loves it. I don't know if it's because of the name or if it's the music. I don't know what it is, but everybody loves the Claw Daddy. I haven't heard a single person who like hates the Claw Daddy or doesn't want to do the match. Um, but yeah, that's the backstory for the Claw Daddy, dude. The Black Pearl's a little different. That actually is something that we've had since we had our original um since we've had our like original venue back when we first started
Mm-hmm.
UXW. And the reason why it happened is because the day before we had our first show, I was watching Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one.
Oh.
I saw
You
the
watch that a
Black
lot, I
Pearl.
bet.
Yeah, I saw the Black Pearl, and they had this match or this like sword fight. You know what I mean on the ship, and I was like, "That's pretty
Mm-hmm.
sick." And then I was like, "Wait a minute." So then I went on studio and I got this free model ship that was littered with viruses. It was the shittiest fucking ship I've ever seen. I got all the viruses out, I cleaned it up, I kind of fixed the way the models were laid out. Slapped some decals on it, changed the color, made the TDs so that they were swords instead of like little cleans, and there we fucking go, bro. Yeah, we had a Black Pearl match, and on the first show that we had when it started, everybody was like, "Yo, what the fuck? We're throwing each other off of a boat," and it was like the coolest thing to them. So that one has been like the one match that has stayed since the very very beginning of UXW.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's super unique of an idea. I don't know. I don't see anyone do anything like that.
yeah, we have a lot of fun with it. We like it a lot, and it's gone through a bunch of different iterations. Like we had a
You no longer use a free
storyline.
model, huh? Do you?
It's no, it's the same boat, but we've edited over
It's the
time, and now
same.
it's like, yeah, it's the same boat from back then. But this is what it looked like before. I'll show this to you in DMs. This was the original
Oh
Black
God.
Pearl. This is after I edited it the first time. After I cleaned out all the viruses and shit like that. It was purple and black.
Mm-hmm.
Then what happened is during one of our shows, somebody exploited where they like insert a fire into like every single brick in the arena or whatever, and so it looked like the Black Pearl was burning. So we had a little bit of fun with it, and I posted all these screenshots of the Black Pearl sinking or whatever, and we
Hmm.
made a little
Oh, is that why
storyline.
you do that now, right?
We made a little, yeah, we made a little storyline about how it couldn't float anymore. So we added little motors on the side and made it a flying ship with like a jet on the back. And so it would float above the water and people would throw each other off of that. Um, and then, there was another joke about the frat boys fucking trying to fly the ship and crashing it. And so we had to go through another iteration where it became a ghost ship. So we turned it into a darker a darker black with the gray things, the gray sails, and then we started spawning it with a giant sea monster, which isn't actually a sea monster, guys. It's Biolante from the Godzilla universe, but not a lot of people watch those movies, so they don't know. So I just call it the sea monster. But we spawned it like that, kind of like it's a ghost ship, and it comes with a creepy sea monster that watches it and shit. So that's where that came from. Um, and now we're just back to normal Black Pearl. Like it's just yeah, we kind of scrapped all the stories. Everyone who was here from the beginning won't remember all of this, so we just you know set it back to the basics. But that's like the story of the Black Pearl. That's kind of like what we were doing with that. And then we have Bob, our NPC. Uh, he's like the I don't what was VCW's? VCW's was Jeffy, I think,
Yeah, Jeffy.
is some shit. Yeah, Bob is our Jeffy. Um,
I
Bob
don't
was
get to see
like,
much of Bob. I didn't even know Bob existed.
yeah, the joke for the longest time is that Bob was like some homeless guy that KJ and I found, and now he works for
Mm.
us by building all of our arenas. But in reality, he's just a white character that I use to measure the arenas that I build. That's what he is. But that's like how we explain him. And then for the longest time, he was like a super over NPC. So I did a little comic book for him, which is in the it's in the Discord actually. If you look under Bob
Oh, I
Cat comic
remember
book,
looking
yeah.
thought I was like, "What the fuck is this? Who is Bob?" I
That's
thought you were promoting someone's story or
No,
something. I
that's
was
who
like,
it
"Okay."
is. It's our NPC. It's like his little shitty backstory. And I never finished it either. It was supposed to be this dumbass story about him being like this fucking crazy ninja John Wick trying to get his fucking dog back after he got shot. And and he was gonna like kind of lead us through all these things in UXW lore, and it was gonna end with him meeting KJ and I. But I never finished it. So but that's what that was. It was a lot of fun to work on, but kind of had to do some other stuff with it. Um, you should give that comic book a read, buddy.
Oh yeah, you posted this like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it
You
was a
haven't even
long,
updated
it
it.
was a long ass time ago, dude.
Damn.
I told myself I was gonna continue with it, and it was gonna be like a fun little stupid way to like explain all this stuff in UXW lore. But we didn't get to do it. There's a lot of things that I wanted to do that I never got a chance to do. Like the zombie universe for Day Zero, we were gonna expand on that big time, but we didn't get to do that. And now we're in RWA Fed, so I'm trying to focus on having these like big storylines and stuff like that. But who knows, man? Maybe down the line I'll be able to do some of them.
Oh yeah, for sure. You got a lot of time now that you're not gonna end the Fed anymore.
Yeah, right. So,
That's crazy though, how you go from, you know what, I'm gonna end this Fed to now you're just in the RWA promoting
bro,
a bunch of stuff.
I was so sick and tired of this shit, man. I was like, I'm done. I'm tired of getting run over. I don't want to do this shit anymore. It's not fun anymore.
You
Um,
took the path less traveled and it worked out.
yeah, I fucking raided them, and then everybody blew up. We kind of blew up overnight, and now we're in the fucking RWA. And I'm like, all right.
Well, it's kind of a timing thing too, because I really highly doubt before right now you would get in the RWA,
I don't think so
even
either.
with all this,
Yeah, I
because
don't think so
RWA is in
either.
like a reformation period. So
Yeah, I feel like one, if we didn't speak up, PCW wouldn't have been booted. Um,
yeah, nah, Trunks was really pushing for it.
he was, but they weren't listening to him. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, we spoke up. They got booted. It is what it is. I'm not gonna shit talk Isaac. It is what it is. But we saw an opening. We took it. It just sometimes it works out, man. And this happened to be one of those times where
Yeah.
it worked out.
Worked out in every way. Now you getting what 30 to 40 instead of your 8?
Well, hey,
I was there. Trust, I was one of the 8.
eight is eight is nice. It was more like 5 or 6, but still, still,
I was one of
absolutely,
them.
yeah. Last show we maxed out at 41, I think. Yeah, 41. We maxed out at last show. Um, but yeah, man, it's been a good time. And you Gladiator champion. By the way, how did you feel going into Homecoming? Did you feel like that match was yours to win?
Yeah.
So you knew.
I was listen, I was fighting FaZe originally, and I was kind of concerned because at that time, me and FaZe, like FaZe was above me at that time. FaZe was better than me,
Hmm.
so I was really concerned that I was gonna lose.
Hmm.
But it turned out he couldn't come, so I was fighting Jess, and I was like, thank God. I didn't want to
Yeah,
fight FaZe.
I
I
felt
really
bad.
didn't.
I felt bad for FaZe. He had some shit that he had going on, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna
Yeah,
hold anybody accountable for that. Shit happens sometimes. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
but yeah, you capitalized, right? You won your title, and how does it feel for you now? Kind of looking back
Um,
on that win and kind of like seeing where you are right now, and this whole tournament coming on just for you.
Honestly, I think it's perfect timing. I mean, I wasn't good in June or July when I won the title. I wasn't good. I was like pretty bad. Maybe I could consider myself half decent, but the growth that I've experienced for myself and the growth UXW's had, it's kind of aligned, right? It's
Hmm.
kind of nice though.
Yeah, and then you had that long, elaborate ass entrance at Homecoming, which I'm not knocking. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun, but I didn't have anyone helping me at all. You kind of put it in late. There was no like prepared thing other than
Yeah,
the
sorry,
cutscene.
man. It
Yeah,
was definitely it was definitely Homecoming was a very stressful show. I had
yeah.
a lot of
I
stuff
also
that kind
kept
of needed
hitting
to get
Ty
done.
rules with the power bomb accidentally. That was real
Oh
funny.
my god, dude, that was the funniest shit. I was crying in call, bro. I was in call with Dewey and Brock when that was happening. And first off, I was losing my shit because not only did you keep hitting him with the fucking power bomb, but Tyrus kept fucking selling it over and over again.
Hey, that's good friendship. Me and Ty have known each other, what, 10 years?
Bro, it was the
We
funniest
work
shit,
well.
man. And you'd be talking or whatever, and he would be
I'd be
talking,
like,
and he'd accidentally get too close to you, and you would fucking do it again. I was like, bro, I was fucking dying. I had tears in my eyes from how hard I was laughing. I was like, no fucking way.
I can't
Uh,
blame you. That was all my fault. I kept forgetting like with the new finishers. I mean, to me
uh,
these are new. I'm sure these finishers have been around for a long time, but
uh,
the old days you used to have to click.
yeah, you had to
Now you don't
click.
gotta click.
Nope, you touch him. And dude,
Yeah,
that is
I keep forgetting. It was in my hand. I kept forgetting to unequip it, and I keep forgetting that. Oh, you don't gotta click.
dude,
Yeah,
I
it was
was,
funny though. I mean, it may have changed my segment that I had planned a lot, but
bro,
I'm glad it was memorable for some reason.
I was
I still want to
fucking
use the
dying.
retirement home I built. You know how long I spent on that
I
thing?
know you spent a long ass time on it. It was a lot of
Oh
parts.
yeah.
Your retirement home had more parts than the fucking venue did.
Hey
Like,
man, I like working part by part, you know?
yeah, oh, bro, that shit was so funny. I was crying. It was fucking hilarious, bro. I couldn't contain myself. Everybody else was like, bro, it's not that deep. And I couldn't even breathe. I couldn't even respond to them, bro. I was like, oh no. And then it just kept happening over and over and over again. I just,
I wish someone recorded that. I wish that
fuck.
was recorded on like Kiri's stream. Like I wish Kiri
Kiri,
was able to come to witness that.
Kiri was
That would have been
supposed
great
to.
for stream content.
Yeah, he was supposed to record night two. He ended up flaking on me. I don't remember what
Yeah.
his reason was, but it is what it is. He recorded night one. But I do want to get somebody to record all of Wicked Tides. Um, which I don't. Well, maybe you don't know, but Wicked Tides is like our second flagship pay per view. It's like our second biggest.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I've heard about that.
yeah, it's our quote unquote SummerSlam. In terms of like its prestige. So
Hmm.
good. I'm excited for it. I'm gonna get somebody to record that whole thing. But for you, seeing all these new young guys, and you being an old head and you kind of like, being around the ring over and over again, just knowing what it takes to succeed, like which one of these young guys has like really been standing out to you? Like who do you think is gonna be the next star of UXW, basically?
Hmm. I mean, honestly, Vegas. Vegas has that motivation sometimes. When Vegas is motivated, I think he has a lot more potential
Motivated
than
Vegas.
yeah, Vegas isn't always motivated. After RPW and his internet selling him that match, he kind of gave up. He was in his troll arc. All he was doing was just trolling everywhere he went.
Yeah.
but he's motivated again. So I think UXW might have been a very big help for him to get motivated again.
I hope so, man. And honestly, there's this one really, really big rivalry that I want to see one day. I want to see it so bad. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna try my best to make this shit happen. I want to see a full feud between FaZe and Vegas.
Really, why phase in Vegas?
That just it gives me like they're both young, they're both talented for their age, right? They're both hungry, they're both super
Mm-hmm.
charismatic and super over. I just when I look at them, I get like young Rock versus Stone Cold vibes, like two of the fucking craziest people, just kind of like going to bat and just seeing who gets out, who gets the better end of it. So
Well, I know Vegas does want to run a match back with FaZe because his internet was acting up when he fought FaZe before too. So
yeah,
I
listen,
know
bro.
for a fact he's down for that,
If I
and I
do
know
that,
FaZe is down for whatever.
it's gonna be a big feud. If I do that, I'm
Yeah.
all in on that shit. But I really, really want to see that eventually, and I think it could be a lot of fun. Um, for you, right? I don't know. I mean, you've been in UXW for a little while now.
Yeah, almost a year.
Yeah, but for us, like, kind of you already know, like, all of our champions, they get special treatment, they get favoritism, and I'll never say
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that. I definitely baby my champs. You know what I mean? I definitely protect my
Yeah.
champs. They get whatever they want. But I do think I'm also kind of harder on you guys when I'm actually refing your matches because in my mind, it's like, you're the champ, you need to step up. So, but
Well,
yeah, okay, thanks, buddy. I feel like I this dude fucking knocking on my door. Um, I do feel like give me a second, bro. But yeah, I definitely feel like I baby y'all. Um, but then when it's your time to step up, it's your time to step up. You know what I mean?
you definitely baby me, bro. I haven't had to defend a single time.
I protect the fuck out of you guys.
I've had
I'm not
the
gonna
title
front.
since July. Zero defenses.
Yeah, I'm not gonna front. Y'all get protected, and I feel like you shouldn't have to defend until like somebody who's straight up and actually deserves a shot steps up. But when that
Mm-hmm.
happens, I definitely think I'm harder on the champs than I am on the contenders because if you're a champ, you got to step up and show why you're the champ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, and I don't show favoritism when I'm refereeing, obviously, but when I'm, as your time, in the Fed, I do show favoritism. Um, and that always kind of gets passed down to the next champions that go on. But in regards to our champions, I don't ever put rankings because the rankings change a lot. Like there was a point in time where the Glory Championship was the highest of all the mid titles. There was a chance where the Underground was the highest, or a time, excuse me. There was a time when the fucking Freedom was the highest. The Freedom was actually the highest when Trunks was holding it, which was fairly recently. Right now I'd say it's the Gladiator, which is your belt. Right now I'd say your belt is the highest of all the mid card titles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even with the world titles kind of switch a lot. Like there have been times where the world championship is higher than the pure. There's times where the pure is higher than the world title. Like they fluctuate, so I don't ever try and put rankings down. But for you, with your co champs, I guess you can call them.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you rank everybody personally?
I don't
And
even know everybody, to be honest, because
I go over
it's
them.
me, IVD.
IVD's the
Let me
underground
look in
champ.
the Discord. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Let me look.
you. IVD's the underground champ. Soraya is the freedom champ. Simapato's the glory champ. Those are the mid card titles. Um,
I have never fought Soraya before, so I have no idea. Not a single clue anything about them, but every time I've ever seen them fight, they've always shown that they're dominant. And, like I've never seen them lose.
yeah, she's good. Sima has been he's been a pretty charismatic champ. He also hasn't defended yet. His first defense is going to be Wicked Ties. He's actually who Jeffrey is going to be facing.
Yeah.
Um, you have IVD, who I think IVD's been a pretty fun to watch underground champ. Um, and he has a really, really he's got a tough test ahead of him, bro. FaZe is not a joke
No,
that's who
no,
he's
I,
facing.
bro, you don't even understand how many times they have fought. Like,
Yeah, I'd imagine IVD's aware of this for sure. But
well, I mean,
Feels different
All
when the
right.
title's on the line. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. There's a friend group. Well, it's me, IVD, FaZe, and a bunch of other people. We always just fight each other nonstop. It's always us fighting.
Well, you guys are
Like,
talented. I didn't even know you guys were in a friend group like that. You guys are just good,
yeah,
so I push you guys against each other.
yeah. That's kind of like where I first like started building myself up was being friends with FaZe and IVD and their friends.
Yeah. And then now you have the two world champions who are Perksina and you have Dewey. And, they each have their own little storylines going on. Perk's going to be defending
Mm-hmm.
against OXO. Dewey, if that match happens, it'll be against Brock. But, you
Which was
know,
supposed to be his last match. Any news on that? Because I've heard that it's not going to be his last match anymore
for who, Dewey or Brock?
for Dewey.
If it happens, it will be Dewey's last match, yes.
Oh,
100%.
okay.
That's
So
his
what about
retirement
Brock? What's
match.
Brock doing?
Brock plans on sticking around. The plan for him right now is, we have a lot of young guys coming in, so I need some I need some locker room leaders, and that's generally the
Mm-hmm.
champions and the high cards. So, the people with more experience are gonna kind of be coasting along and helping the younger guys out. So that's kind of what he's gonna be doing, win or lose. And I like I said, I don't know if this match is gonna happen now. Dewey's got some real personal stuff going on. I keep telling
Mm-hmm.
him personally, I love Dewey like a brother, and obviously, I would like to see this match happen. We've been building up for it for months, but I definitely think that he should. I think he should just drop it. I think he should just drop everything and just dip. He doesn't owe anything to anybody else. Whether or not he chooses to listen to me, and that's 100% on him.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of told people that the pure titles like the Workhorse World Championship, like that's the one where if you're like a UXW loyal, that's what you want. And then
Mm-hmm.
the World Heavyweight Championship is like the title everybody else sees. That's like the Clout Championship. Um, and Dewey's like the definition of a workhorse. Like he's been about that shit since day one. And I feel like now anybody besides Dewey holding that belt would just feel weird. You know what I mean? Because of how long he's had it and how many times he's
Mm-hmm.
defended it. But what I feel like is gonna happen is, regardless of what happens at Wicked Tides, I think next is gonna be a unification
Oh,
because
really?
I think we're at that point now where there's no longer a reason for us to have a workhorse world title and a clout world championship. They should be
Mm-hmm.
synonymous with both. Um, and we already have a lot of mid card titles. You know what I mean? We have four
Oh,
mid card
yeah.
championships. So I'm thinking I unify the world titles. I have to come up with a really cool concept for that. But that's probably what's going to happen after Wicked Tides. I haven't announced anything yet. Obviously, this is like the first time I'm talking about it, but unification looks like what's going to eventually happen. Um,
Sounds fun.
yeah, so we'll see what happens with that, man. But yeah, it's some interesting stuff, and kind of like for you being gone so long, like what feds are you even going to right now? By the way, before I like ask this question,
I go like everywhere. I'm requested a lot.
so you're pretty
I'd go
active.
wherever I can. Oh yeah, I'm probably the most active person.
Okay, so for you, right, what has been like the one thing that has really like drawn you to certain feds around the community?
Hmm.
Because you've been at, like I said, you've been at this for a long ass time. Yeah, you had a long layoff, right? But
Oh yeah.
you still have that old gem mentality. So
Honestly, storylines.
really,
Whenever a Fed's just match after match after match, it just bores the shit out of me. I want to fall asleep and I just want to leave.
hmm
I feel like storylines, like, I feel like it's important to have a lot of segments. 5 minute, not five, yeah, maximum 5 minute segments. I feel like that, like, if you have a
really,
bunch of 5 minute
really,
segments,
you
I
want a
think that would
maximum
be
of
of,
5 minutes? That's not a lot of time,
and
dude.
sure, if you have a whole bunch of them, you could spread them out. It could just be one segment, like, building up for, like, it could just be like like one pair of people have a bunch of 5 minute segments. The average human attention span is like what 8 minutes. You're not going to keep someone's attention for 15 minutes.
But
Every
if
time
you're
I see a
good
15-minute
though,
promo, listen, man. Every time I see a 15-minute promo, I'm not into it. I got like ADHD, bro. I'm not sitting there reading all
really,
that. Yeah,
even like oh shit, I just
just
my laptop. Even like the Like Brock's promos, for example, those are always pretty good. Even those.
Brock's promos were great, but it lost my attention, and not even because what he was saying bored me. It's just I can't like do that for the whole 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. I mean, all right.
Like
That's an honest
Brock
answer.
didn't say anything that made me like, oh, this is boring. I just want to walk away, bro. But it was just
So it's not the
I see
content;
something
it's
else
just the
going
length
on.
that gets to you.
Yeah, it's the length. I feel like if you have a bunch of 5 minute segments that build up to something, I think that's key.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's one of the things that Trunks has been getting on me for. To be honest with you, he's
The
always
length
bringing.
of your segments
Yeah,
or the amount?
he's always on my shit. He's been like my little drill sergeant, right?
Hmm.
Especially since we're on the ratings war with PCW right now, so I have to kind of step it
Yeah.
up. I still have that indie mentality. You know what I mean? And I still
You
want to
got all the
run.
time of the world. You don't care about
I
how many people are at your show.
Yeah, I still want to run shit like an indie fed, and Trunks is like, "You're in the mainstream now. You need to fucking do shit the mainstream way." And I'm like, "Fuck!" So he's been like on my ass, dude, about everything. I posted a picture at the beginning of the tournament of Adrian Valley. He was the first one announced, and Trunks was immediately in my DMs like, "That shit sucks. Don't ever make some shit like that again." And I was like, "Damn, okay." And then we started doing the gifs instead. And then when he keeps getting on me for how I use the Twitter. He wants me to be more active, be about that cloud a little more. And I'm like, bro, come on. But he believe it or not, it's been really really helpful because he keeps my ass accountable. But yeah, that's one of his biggest complaints. It's the length of the segments. I'm
I'm with Trunks on that. What I found interesting about RPW is that he literally did what I was just talking about. He had a bunch of tiny 5 minute segments that were like unique and entertaining.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man. He's legitimately getting at me for that. So your suggestion has been heard, and it's agreed with by the COO of UXW.
Can we talk
Yeah.
about Trunks for a minute? I love
Go
Trunks.
ahead, bro. Go.
I love
This is your
Trunks so
interview,
much,
so
bro.
he's a great guy.
Trunks is such a great guy.
Really
I
is.
don't get to talk to Trunks enough. I was this last week I was playing with Trunks with in this RPG game. I don't even remember what it's called.
Huh.
But me and Trunks were playing for fucking hours. We were just grinding, getting levels in this RPG game. It was great. I had so much fun. I need to talk to Trunks more.
Yeah, Trunks is a real great guy. I've known this dude for years. He and I have gotten really, really, really close. Um, Especially last year. It's when it started. But yeah, he's a real great dude to be around. He's whipping my ass into shape, man. Let me tell you, he's getting my ass into
He knows what
shape.
it takes, man. You
He
were shitting
does.
on him for going mainstream, but now look at you. You're doing it too.
Bro, don't even say that, because he
I
clowns.
remember.
Everyone
I was
clowns me
there.
for it, dude. I was like, for the longest time, I said I'd never do it. I said I'd never join a big alliance. I would never do any of this, and I'm a fucking hypocrite now.
Well, I don't know. Times changed. I feel like the whole big alliance stuff doesn't apply anymore.
Yeah,
Times
I mean,
changed.
I said a whole lot in my little tweet longer, that I would
Yeah.
hope kind of made people understand, but it's true, man. It really, it really is. I was like, fuck, and everyone's getting on me, and I'm just thinking back, and I'm like, I'm doing all the same shit that I was telling other people not to do, and now I'm doing it. So, hey,
I think that's just times changing, man. It's nothing. You're
it
not
is,
you're not
man.
failing to stick to your ways. It's just things make
Gotta
sense now that
adapt,
didn't
man.
make sense before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I appreciate Trunks. He's a great guy, and I agree with you. He's real cool. He's laid back. He does what he needs to do. He's been a huge help. But we've
He's
got a
helping
lot
a
of
whole bunch of feds too. I can't
yeah,
even name all of them.
yeah. He's really trying to pay it all forward.
Yeah,
But
man.
got a lot of good stuff planned, and honestly, I think I already know who your next opponent is going to be. After this tournament thing is over, I don't want to tell you yet because I
Can I
want you
get
to
some clues, perhaps? Maybe something they have done?
I want you to focus on the tournament, though. I just want you to know that I'm already like looking ahead, assuming you win. You
All
know what I
right.
mean? I'm not saying you're gonna lose,
Yeah.
but
Hey,
assuming you
man, what
win.
if I do lose? What's next for me then? What am I doing after if I
Well,
lose?
one, you have an RC, right?
True.
But two, I can't tell you, and this is why, because all of the storylines and all of the N1C matches that we have leading up to Wicked Tides, it's one of
Mm-hmm.
those things where no matter what happens, it's gonna be like a big reset point. So
Mm-hmm.
I know who is next for you, assuming you win. I don't have a plan if you lose, but you do have your RC. Um, it's similar with Brock and Dewey. I have a plan if Brock loses. I don't have a plan if he wins, aside from possible unification. So I have to kind of think that stuff out. But I do have a plan for you if you win. I don't want to give it away because, like I said, I want you to focus on your title defense. But um,
Well, just got to make sure it matches up to someone who could win the whole tournament, you know?
all I'm saying is I feel like you have experience with this person. That's the only
Okay,
hint I'm gonna
experience with
give
this
you.
person.
Yeah, I feel like you that
Okay.
100% have experience with this person, and I feel like it's something that I'm like hyping it up as if this is big secret, but it's really not. So, I'll leave it at that.
All right, all right.
So, you know, for you, I just want to I do this with everybody that I talk to for the next pay per view, and this is kind of like how we kind of come to a close. For you, right, we have confirmed matches for Wicked Ties already. We have a few more that we haven't confirmed yet, but I like to go through the matches that we have for sure and what I think will be on, and then get your
Mm-hmm.
opinions on them. Okay.
All
So,
right.
first one, who do you think is going to walk out as the World Heavyweight Champion between Perk and OXO?
That's a
And
tough
why?
one. I love Perk. I love Perk so much. I met Perk in like 2011. He doesn't even remember. I brought it up. I met him at NARW and they had cleans in the starter pack and we would just fight in the crowd. That was so much fun. I remember Perk was an asshole to me. He does no idea. He has no idea. He doesn't remember this at all, but I remember. It was a fun time, but I love Perk a lot, but I think Perk is very inconsistent. I feel like if Perk's at his best, he can beat Oxo, but like he's not always at his best, you know? It's
Okay.
50-50. When I see Perk fight, it's either him dogging somebody or it's him kind of struggling. Doesn't matter who it is. I think Perk just needs to get in the right mindset. Because when Perk's in that right mindset, he's unstoppable.
So for you, it's Perk.
I think Perk has the upper hand if he's in the right mindset, but he's got to get there.
Do you think that OXO is a legitimate threat at all?
Oh yeah, Oxo's good. Oxo's really good. He's definitely legit. But I feel like Perk has the upper hand if he's in the right mindset.
Okay, all right. Now, this next match, I mean, this is assuming that it happens, right? This is what's supposed to be the main event. Brock versus
Mm-hmm.
Dewey for the pure championship. If this is kind of a really, really big match, and I'm 50-50 on whether or not I want it to happen. From a Fed owner point of view, I do want it to happen. From a friend point of view, I don't. But assuming that it does, who do you think walks out pure champion and why?
I think Brock walks out if it happens. Because I've seen Brock beat people that I don't know if Dewey could, like, on an average day. And Dewey's more active than Brock is. I feel like if Brock is, like, setting his mind to winning this match against Dewey, I don't see a world where he loses, at least not convincingly.
Okay. We have Marley versus Soraya for the Freedom Championship. Now these are two of our best women ever, but they're fighting for a men's title. Soraya was the first to win a men's title as a female. Marley won the N1C by beating guys up, and now
Mm-hmm.
they're going at it. So who do you think walks out? Marley has had definitely a much more historic time in UXW. Broke a lot of records and shit like that. Is the first one to beat the Mime. The Mime was undefeated until Homecoming 2.
Or
And
KJ.
yeah, and now you have Soraya, who this is her first defense. Who do you think's walking out with that belt?
I don't really know anything about either of them. I know they're both really good. That's all I know. I have no opinion on who would win because I don't know enough.
Got you. All right. Well, that's fair. Yeah. So you plead the fifth.
I
All right.
plead the fifth because I don't have an opinion because I have no idea.
Yeah. We got Sima Palo versus Jeffrey Williams. No, Sima.
Well, I was talking shit on Jeffrey earlier, but I think he's probably gonna win here.
Really? You think so?
Yeah,
You were
I think
talking
Jeffrey's
shit
gonna
about
win.
the boy, and now you're
Well, that's
like
fighting me. That's
handcuffing him.
fighting me. I'm not, Simpato is not me. That's different.
So you don't think Sima's gonna get his first defense off Jeffrey?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Simba's a tank in those in Black Pearl. He's a tank. But this is not a TD match. This is a cleans match. I don't think I've seen much from him in cleans. And I know Jeffrey's pretty decent in cleans.
Okay. All right. Well, Sema, if you're watching this, buddy, you have a chance to prove Mint wrong. We'll see, right?
Yeah, I don't know much about his capability with cleans, but I know he's a tank in Black Pearl.
All right. We got IBD versus FaZe.
Man, I love both of these guys like brothers, man. I was talking to these guys like very early when I came back.
Hmm.
They've been there the entire time. I, so I don't know. I mean, they're both really good. They've grown so much so fast. You
You
know,
had to drop your life savings on one of them.
my life savings, huh?
Yep.
I'm I, I'm gonna have to go with FaZe in a close match
Wow. Okay. All
because
right.
I think FaZe has won the majority of their previous matches. That's the entire reason why I say that.
Okay. So you think all of these, with the exception of yourself and Perk, are gonna be and new? You think we're gonna crown new champions?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we talked a little bit earlier about who you think's gonna win the tournament. Do you still think that's gonna be Vegas?
Oh yeah, I think that's Vegas. I think Vegas has it secured.
All right. Well, we're gonna see if those predictions are true. Uh, I honestly, I mean, you've got good predictions. I can't make predictions. You know, I'm the veteran. I'm not
Oh
supposed to.
yeah, no
I
bias, no
have to
bias,
be
no
impartial.
favoritism.
I have to be impartial. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But yeah. I mean, I think those are all fair predictions for sure. And you
Yep.
know, with that being said, man, where I usually do these for about an hour. We're at an hour 11. Before we hop off, bro, is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to tell people about as like a closing thought before you dip?
Well, I don't know the future of JHW, but if I'm the owner next year, please come. I'm 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 gonna be putting some work into that.
Oh wait, hold on. All right, now we can't stop. Wait, what? What do you mean?
Okay, so you're not even. Are you not even in the Discord, bro? Did you not
I
see?
am. I just don't. I don't be reading shit, dude. Fuck.
Let me read out word for word what he said. Word for word, Nemesis said, "Think I may give JHW to Mint and end my journey here. I'll be thinking on it for a bit." He said this 2 days ago.
Is he going through it right now?
I don't know. He hasn't really talked to me about it. We were talking about plans if he does give it to me, but I don't know why he wants to give it to me or what. I don't know. But
I don't know if I
yeah,
still have a
future is
pure.
uncertain.
I don't know if I still have a pure championship N1C there. I wouldn't expect Mint to keep that because had to drop it for school. It was a really fun reign,
Ah,
but
timeline ended, man. Timeline
yeah,
ended.
that's what I was just
Nothing
about to
counts
say.
anymore.
Like,
Nobody's
I'm not.
champion anymore.
I would hope that that's not the case because I wouldn't keep an RC for someone who's been gone that long. But
Yeah,
with that being said,
timeline's gone.
I am proud of what I've done there. I'm proud of what Nemesis has accomplished. You can say what you want about how the feds run now. Like for the, I don't think the cleans are very good. They irritate the shit out of me.
Yeah,
but
man, I'm with you there. They're terrible. If I take control, I'm changing a lot. It's going to be a very, very different place.
but I
It's
think
going to
that
be
it's
very different.
yeah. But I think that it's definitely revolutionized a lot of stuff here, and I'm proud of everything Mint's accomplished. Or not Mint, sorry, Nemesis has
Yeah,
accomplished.
me. Yeah,
You
thank you.
too,
Thank you.
buddy.
Yeah.
um, and if you do end up owning it, I'm really excited to see what you do with it, man.
Yeah, man. I haven't told you what the goal is if I do start running it.
What's the goal? You want to take it mainstream?
Oh yeah, the goal is taking mainstream, but I have a very, very different direction. It's never been done before. I'll talk to you about it in DMs later.
I bet
It's never been done before.
we could definitely talk about that.
For
And
sure,
with
for
that,
sure.
bro, if you don't have anything else that you want to bring up or plug before we dip,
I think that's everything, man.
all right.
We've been call what hour, almost hour and a half.
Yep.
That didn't feel like an hour and a
Didn't
half.
feel like an hour. I'm telling you, bro, these conversations, you just kind of fly through, And then by the time you know it,
Yeah,
you're
that
like,
was
oh, that
crazy.
flied by.
We
But
got to
yeah,
do this again. That was
we do
fun.
have to do this again. Y'all, this was
I have a lot to
Mintman,
say.
Gladiator,
Yeah,
that motherfucker, my own JHW
that
leader.
motherfucker.
I don't know. This is me.
We'll see.
This was Uncensored. I appreciate y'all for watching.